What's going on, Cancer? How are you doing? Hope you're doing super well. This is the Autistic Mystic, and this is going to be your reading for the rest of November 2024. So in this reading, Cancer, we're going to take a look at your overall general energy, some things you do not see coming, and also get some advice from your angels and spirit guides for you regarding the rest of November 2024. So before we begin this reading, as always, I do want to take a moment to let you know that you are very welcome here in this space with me as we go through this reading, and I really do appreciate you in advance, Cancer, for taking the time to check this reading out. Now, if this general reading does happen to resonate with you, definitely smash that like button, subscribe down below if you have not already for future updates. I would also really appreciate that over here. And if you're interested in getting exclusive tarot readings from me and astrology workshops where we can talk about all the things that we cannot talk about on YouTube, then consider joining the Mystic Mastermind School, the link in the description box below. So without further ado, I'm going to pull the energy for you now and see what's coming your way for the rest of November. As always, I would like to thank the angels, the interdimensional beings, and the spirit guides who are overseeing this act of divination for the sign of Cancer. All right, Cancer, really interesting energy that you got going on here for sure. There's definitely a big change to your destiny right now, and your fate really lies in your own hands to a certain degree. I do feel like there are certain energies that you're meant to be aware of that are basically interfering with your ability to transform, and it's making you feel much more stuck than you actually are. So please check your definitions and things like that. But before we get into the tarot, let's go ahead and start this reading off with some pre-shuffled oracle cards from the universe, and these oracle cards contain the energy that you need more of for the rest of November. And the first one you have is the Rebirth card, and this is similar to the Ten of Swords, but it actually tells a different story of the camel, the lion, and the child. And this illustrates a story where when we are born into society, usually we are a camel, the masses do what the masses do. We follow the rules. We just blend in like the camel. We're basically being used by society for their own benefit. Then we have an awakening where we have to rebel against that, and we become a lion. Okay, and we start to fight against the ways that society does not suit us, the ways that camels or people around us that want to keep us stuck or just want to keep us normal, and we rebel against it. But then there's a whole other level where you shift into the child, which is the state that was uncorrupted before you became a camel, essentially. So right now there's a big shift from you being this lion versus being this child who is simply doing its own thing uncorrupted in a state of purity, innocence, and love. And so there are certain experiences that you're graduating through right now that may feel a little bit counterintuitive. I feel, it's not always easy to give up the lion, to stop fighting for what you want. And a quote that I live by is that freedom is yours when you end the battle. Okay, now there always are going to be things that you're going to have to fight against in life, but for some reason right now, The universe is saying that if you return to your simplicity, if you return to your uncorrupted state, this is what will really help you. So this is a major ending in your life. Now, the next energy you need more of is the Tower. So this is about a major foundation that has been in your life for a really long time is finally blowing up. Okay, and for a lot of you, the Ten of Swords and the Tower is what you need more of. So these are complete endings. Old ways of being, fighting against the world, fighting against the camels. This could be friends, family, people that you lack boundaries with in some sort of way, and really returning to that inner child state. Okay, so there's definitely major endings going on right now, both spiritually and physically. This is what the advice is from the universe. Okay, now you also have the Nine of Pentacles, which is about ripeness. And it's about you are ready to enjoy the fruits of your labor, to enjoy the fruits of your inner work that you've been doing, even if it's been a little bit challenging, even if right now there's a lot of uncertainty around you. You are ripe for this change. So Spirit is saying if things are falling apart in your life, if certain people are leaving your life here, that maybe you've had relationships for a long time, or certain attitudes that simply no longer serve you are leaving your life, you are actually ripe for this change. Okay, you are ripe for this change. So keep that in mind, that the universe, you are ready to release. You are. And the Tower is also in your overall general energy. So the whole entire conception of who you think you are, how the world works, is actually being blown up right now. And this is a collective process that all of us are going through, that as we move into November and December of 2024, our whole notion of our origins as human beings and what the universe really contains and how much protection and love that we have from the universe is really coming on board. So I think that old conceptions of how we need to create our reality are changing, and that's very scary to release. So here's the interesting thing about this reading, is that your opportunity is the Seven of Swords. Okay, your opportunity is the Seven of Swords. And I do feel like there's an opportunity to realize that there is some sort of scheme or some sort of plot to keep you stuck in an old version of yourself. For some of you, it may be the lion. For some of you, it may be the camel, just being afraid to go against society. For some of you, it may be the lion. This may be an opportunity to realize that you're scheming yourself, you're scheming others by fighting against them. And there may be a return to love for all human beings, recognizing the oneness principle that if you do something to scheme another person, it may not come back to haunt you immediately, but it will eventually. And I feel like a shift that's going on in our life is that sometimes we look at people and their life is so perfect on the outside, and we say they must have done really good things in a past life. They must be doing everything right. But sometimes we don't realize that the very people that we're idolizing and the very people that we look up to are simply people who are going to experience a big delayed karma in life. Okay, but it's just not happening right now, so we judge ourselves against that mirror in some sort of way. So the Seven of Swords, we're going to have to see why this is your opportunity. I do feel that there is a message here where it's an opportunity for you to look at this frequency within yourself, maybe trying to maneuver in certain ways that are unnecessary, and being aware that right now there certainly are people that maybe don't trust you, that you have to build trust back with in your life, because the frequency of this reading is that there's definitely a relationship in your life that is very solid, that you're moving towards divine protection with, but there is a transformation of a lack of trust that you are going through. And this can be people that you barely know. But for many of you, this is people really close to you. And there's a barrier of a lack of trust that you're basically breaking through. Now, for some of you, this is actually a primary relationship that is basically going through a transformation in your life. For some of you who are dating someone, or for some of you who have a primary partner, whoever you're considering in love right now, you are ripe to enjoy the fruits of love with someone that you're very close to in life, but there's a complete ending to an old cycle and an old way of perhaps fighting each other's true nature and learning to accept each other just as we are. But we'll see, like I said, why the Seven of Swords is here. It's important to keep your eyes open. There may be some sort of deception or scheme going on against you. Now, another meaning of the Seven of Swords is about this person is taking these swords away from this camp so that they can't be used against them. So I do feel that this is an energy that you do need to separate yourself from a situation that you know people don't have your best interest in hand, or people are tolerating you rather than actually loving you full-heartedly in some sort of way. We're going to have to see why. Now, your challenge is the Chariot. And this has to do with divine protection, freedom of movement, and being able to escape the matrix. So right now, it may feel like the old matrix is crumbling around you, your old life is crumbling around you, and your challenge is to realize that you are divinely protected through this process. But there could also be something going on for the rest of November where there's difficulty with travel or with a car or a vehicle to get you to where you want to go. Now, some of you, this vehicle is actually a relationship that you're involved in and that you're very, I just saw 1111 as I said that. So there's a relationship in your life that you're divinely protected to hold on to, but it will be a challenge because other people around this relationship maybe don't want to see it. Nobody want to see us together, but it don't matter, no, because Chariot got you. So it's like, there could be people that really don't want to see you with someone around you that could be trying to manipulate the energy in some sort of way. But realize that you're ripe to witness this. Because I'm telling you, in November and December, the old paradigms of control and hierarchical manipulation are falling away. And you are ripe to experience a whole new reality. But at first, it will feel like, what is happening? I've never experienced this flavor before. So we're going to have to clarify why this is your opportunity and this is your challenge. Now, for some of you, it is to realize that what you do to another person, you do to yourself. So there could be an opportunity to realize that if you are trying to scheme, plot, manipulate someone who is divinely protected, for some of you, this is a message that you need to look at that and how it will backfire on you. Now, for others of you, this is a message of encouragement that to realize that the challenge is to realize that you are divinely protected, and the opportunity is to recognize a conflict situation, right? The swords have to do with conflict and the realm of thought and also making decisions. So there could be a feeling of stuckness, because the Chariot in your challenge, I do feel there's a challenge to break through a certain level of stuckness. Now, I do think that the level of stuckness that you're experiencing may be actually counterintuitive, right? Because we have the camel, the lion, and the child here. And I do feel like there's a transformation going on in your life that may not fit in with your logical view of how the transformation should happen. And this definitely includes a primary one-to-one relationship in your life that you keep coming back to it here. And there's something about transforming the apathy of an open heart and keeping an open heart. So I don't know what we're going to see when we clarify, but your overall general energy, Cancer, is the Tower, the Knight of Wands, and also the Wheel of Fortune. So there's a lot of excitement in the air for the rest of November for you, but there's also a lot of things that have been in your life for a really, really long time that are simply no longer going to work. And if you try to hold on to it, it just simply won't work. And you're ripe for change. This ripeness card is sitting right near the Wheel of Fortune, and the Wheel of Fortune has to do with destiny. It's a jackpot frequency. It's the wheel of your fate starting to spin, and it's all about divine order as well. So I do feel like there is a new adventure waiting for you, but if you try to rush into a tower that's burning, or if you try to stay in a tower that is not for you, I feel like this can be kind of a sticky situation. Now, what I do feel is that you are excited about the endings, though. The Knight of Wands is a frequency that's really fun and really open to new experience and really enthusiastic and full of energy, full of authenticity, even if you're learning what that authenticity is. That's what this shift from the camel to the lion to the child is all about. Sometimes we think we found our authenticity when we're mean to other people. We think that we found our authenticity when we're a lion, but really the authentic self is going to be something deeper, something more pure as we move into a world where we actually are in a frequency of coherence and love rather than separation and fear. So I do feel like this is to confront your own mental fear about certain people in your life. There is a certain level of power that you fear giving. I don't want to say giving away, but there's a certain, let me show you why I'm saying this, okay? Because in what you don't see coming, you have the Knight of Swords, the Emperor, and also the Queen of Cups. So I feel like there's a fast-paced change to your love life where there's unconditional love and there's a real recognition. There could be a real good balance of feminine and masculine energy between you and someone in your life. And in what you don't see coming, there's a real speed, there's a real encouragement here. And the Knight of Swords here is someone who is quick. You know, these things happen quickly. They move full speed ahead. They're bold. So in what you don't see coming, there's definitely a new relationship, or for many of you, it's an existing relationship more so that's been under question, perhaps because of outside influence, perhaps because of your own mind, that I feel this is going to go better than you think. Okay, so if you're single, this could be a new relationship coming in very quick. If you're already in a relationship, I see it actually getting better very quickly and you experiencing your fortune with this person, but it may happen in a way that feels like you have to let go of a part of your own ego in order to exist properly with this person, and they might have to do the same. Now, in your advice, you have the Death card, the Four of Cups, and also the Eight of Swords in your advice. Now, I can look at this, for some of you, here's what I'm getting. For some of you, this is about transforming an in and out frequency when it comes to you and someone. You know, the Death card is about transformation, rebirth, and it's a painful process where I feel like someone that you've been experiencing in love, you know, someone on your mind right now, you've been in this frequency where you're not as actually stuck as you think that you are when it comes to the apathy of love. I feel that someone, you've been trying to offer yourself to someone, your heart, they've been trying to offer it to you in some sort of way. And for many of you, for most of you in this reading, I feel like this frequency of stuckness and apathy is the frequency that you're being called to transform. And to realize that when you commit halfway to something and you don't fully invest in something, or you don't fully give to something, you actually end up scheming yourself or scheming the situation because it doesn't come to fruition. Now, for others of you, there can also be an experience here of choosing to walk away from certain relationships, and this can be different relationships than a certain love relationship. Please take it as it resonates, leave what doesn't. But I do feel like this is about transforming relationships that you're not really feeling anymore. I do feel like there's certain relationships where people want to offer you something, but you recognize that it's not really for me. And so you're looking to transform it here. So there's a lot of changes, a lot of relational changes going on in your reality. For most of you, I see this as being a beneficial love thing that actually leads to more commitment and a certain sense of like, so I almost feel like someone has to quickly release control, and like, because the Emperor is someone who's completely in control of their reality. They're a combination of all four kings. Queen of Cups is someone who has unconditional love. So if you are a feminine Cancer listening to this, there can be someone in your reality that you know is for you, that is your divine partner, that is meant to be together. But there may be an experience of, instead of trying to fight their own power and compete with them in a negative way, compete with them in a positive way, or I feel like there's a softening of an ego when it comes to you and someone else that you're dealing with in love, but that softening of the ego will actually lead to a positive ego where things unfold systematically and things unfold effortlessly. So I feel like the whole energy that this reading is saying when it comes to your relationships is that if you try to be a lion here, if you try to fight against things that are not for you, it can be way easier than you're making it in your relationships, but it will require a level of trust, and it also will require you to transform the fear of rejection, or what if I put my energy into this and it doesn't work? And what the universe is saying is that if you're sitting in that frequency of what if I put my energy into it if it doesn't work? What if I continue with it in this relationship and it hurts me eventually? I feel like that's the energy that's keeping the whole thing stagnant in general. So you're transforming that. Now, on the other hand, I feel like in your primary love relationships, there's something happening very quickly, very good in your romance. But when it comes to other people that may be existing as a lion or maybe existing as a camel or maybe reinforcing negative foundations in your life, I do feel like it's time for you to let it go. Right? To say this is not worth my time. So it's really up to you to vet what is worth my time and what is not. But your heart is definitely open here with a specific some. For a lot of you, it could be a masculine, but roles can be reversed. This is just energy. So let's go ahead and clarify why the Tower is here in your overall general energy, especially considering it's in the energy that you need more of in the Oracle cards. Yeah, Seven of Swords in reverse. Okay, and this is your opportunity. Why else is the Seven of Swords in reverse, King of Cups in reverse, Hermit in reverse, Strength in reverse, Page of Cups in reverse, Eight of Swords in reverse? Yeah, I feel like this is a pattern of being extremely like mental in your love or not being in the heart space, not being able to like settle into something here, immature stuckness that is being dissolved in your relationships. So it's interesting. You know, the Tower clarified by the Seven of Swords in reverse. I feel like this is about the lion child frequency where if you're just out for yourself and you're not really willing to invest in the people that love you, I feel like it's a frequency of it's going to hurt you in the end. Or this can even be for many of you, it's a frequency of no matter how it fits into your life, I do feel like there's a frequency of people that are trying to scheme on you or trying to manipulate you in a negative way are going to just, that foundation is leaving your life. Okay, and some people do this without even realizing they're doing it, by the way. But that foundation is definitely leaving your life here. It's almost like that's why the opportunity is the Seven of Swords. But let's clarify the Seven of Swords since it came out with the Tower. So perhaps being less like strategic in your relationships and opening up to the simplicity of where your heart is guiding you. I honestly feel that. So yeah, the Seven of Swords is clarified by the Nine of Wands. Unfinished business, deep hurt. I feel like there's someone here that you're dealing with in love, or this can even be a different situation as well, where there's a lot of baggage here, and so Cornish hens switching positions, auditioning morticians, saw it in the prison, ignoring. Never mind. Claim praise. FUBs. Anyway. The Seven of Swords is clarified by the Nine of Wands, the Ten of Wands, and also the Four of Pentacles here. So this is definitely a plot on your own stability in some sort of way. I feel like it's to recognize that. I feel like there's a burden in your life that has a lot of unfinished business here. And I do feel like there's a situation where you've overextended your stay in some sort of way. Okay, and this is a fiery crash to this situation. That's why the Tower is here twice. And so anything that just makes you get mental or makes you get in your head or makes you feel like you have to scheme or plot, I feel like that's over. And there is a plot on your own security, on your own foundation right now. And it's something to look out for sure. I feel like this is to look out for wounded people, where it's the idea that hurt people hurt people. Okay. Now, there also may be a release of you and someone that you're really close to realizing that we're actually kind of partially hurting each other, we're partially destroying each other here. So I feel like there is that release from the lion to the child, realizing that you're ripe for change. Let's clarify why the Wheel of Fortune is in your overall general energy. The Eight of Swords, you're not as stuck as you think. The Three of Wands, be patient, and the Five of Cups here. Yeah, I feel like there's an opportunity to really confront your own emotional pain and to remain optimistic that you're not as actually stuck as you think you are. I feel like there's a certain relationship here in your life, especially in your love life, where this whole process of grieving and of thinking of the worst case scenario and of letting past traumas really interfere with the purity of love that you have with someone right now. I feel like this is what is changing. So there could be an opportunity to actually go into immense levels of pain here, because the energy that you need more of is the Tower, and then you have the Rebirth card. So I feel like there's a relationship here that's going from you like fighting with your partner like you're two lions, but not in a good way, in like an actual way that causes pain and conflict with you, or trying to protect people or whatever. I feel like this is changing. Okay, not that you're not going to protect people, but in a way that is actually beneficial rather than causing more problems. What you resist persists. So I do feel like there's an opportunity to like to recognize how you and someone have been playing each other, even if it's very difficult to do. That's your path. Now also there is an opportunity for you to let go of certain relationships that you've been patient with, that you may have given people all the opportunity in the world to change, that you just realize is bringing you more sadness, okay? So let's clarify why the Queen of Cups is here and what you don't see coming as well. Why is the Queen of Cups here and what you don't see coming? You get the Ace of Swords, the Five of Pentacles here. Being on the outside of love. Yeah, resisting commitment or even marriage here, I feel. There could be a fear of, if I commit, I'll be in a worse position than I am. The Seven of Swords is here. This is all about putting up a boundary. I do feel like there's an energy of protection here. The Seven of Wands is about being willing to fight for something or having something that's worth defending. You also have the Ace of Swords here, which is the Sword of Truth, and it's in a sort of immediate action. It's a brilliant idea. So many of you have this idea, and in what you don't see coming, there will be a commitment. There will be a commitment that leads to more of a bond with you and someone, but it's almost like you're resisting this energy. It's almost like you're fearing that if this breaks up, my whole life is going to fall apart. But I feel like there's a relationship here that you feel is worth fighting for. And although there's going to be challenges, part of you realize that there's something that's worth it here is really what I feel. So let's also clarify why the Death card is here in your advice, Cancer. Two of Swords, Seven of Pentacles, Queen of Wands. Yeah, I do feel like this is an energy of being unwilling. There's an energy here in your advice where you may have to release certain parts of yourself that have been fighting against people that genuinely love you. The Camel, the Lion, and the Child here. I feel like this is an energy of maybe not being, fully on board with someone because of your own ego. And you do have good karma here, right? You have the Seven of Pentacles here coming out in your advice. So I feel like that if you can drop your lion ego, and if you can return to this state of being innocent, then you have a real innocent love here. It's just about how much of the camels and the lions of the world are you going to let interfere with what your heart really wants. Because right now, like I said, in what you don't see coming, you have the Emperor and the Queen of Cups here. This is a relationship that you can depend on someone, that you can rely on someone really well. But there first has to be a rebirth within yourself. You don't have to fight this person who you love so much, but you also fear, right? And the Two of Swords is also about not being willing to give something up. It's about saying, no, I'm not going to change. So for some of you, this is in your advice is a message of, there's a relationship that you're working through issues with. Okay, there's stuckness. You're not as stuck as you think that you are. That when you do, you'll transform on the other side and you'll be healed. But you're ripe for this. But you have to keep in mind there is a lot of wounding around you that may lead people to act out of character or in character to kind of plot against your stability. So right now there is a real need to keep your eyes wide open, but there is a love here that seems to be destined for you. And I don't want to see you let that go because of your own ego, because of someone else's ego. So with that being said, I'm going to conclude this reading, Cancer. I hope this helps.